You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 17th day of July, 2023. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast is from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. That's our live training room. That's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you've not yet taken your 1-week free trial, you can do so by going to mytradingiq.com. At the very top of the page, there's a button that says 5-day free trial. All you have to do is click that button and the journey begins. Doesn't matter what day of the week or weekend or hour of the day that you sign up, you will get 5 consecutive trading days, not only in the live training room, but with access to everything all of our lifetime members have access to. Now, when the live training room ends, we take a 30-minute break and come back at 12 noon Eastern for the afternoon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. That's everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast. Best way, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast, click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you are done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform, and that gives you access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you'd still like to join live. And there'll be days that you're busy and can't join live. We have one solution for both situations. It's called our YouTube channel, where we are simulcasting live right now. All you have to do is point your browser, whether you want to join live and you're out and about, or you want to view the broadcast after the fact. Just point your browser to youtube.com/CFRN. youtube.com/CFRN. Simple to remember. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,200 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today or this week, but scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more. Pick some days at random and just listen in. Make sure you fast forward to the part where we're doing the recap of the live training room and where we're doing the recap of the Logic 247 alerts and the concierge trade alerts. Quickly, you'll see the thread of connectivity the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast. youtube.com/CFRN. We'll open with a word of prayer as we do every day. Our devotion this week, we started it last week, is on hope. Hope that restores whatever's broken. Now, our scripture is Colossians chapter 1, verses 18 through 20. And I'll be sharing with you from the Message translation. He was supreme in the beginning and leading the resurrection parade. He is supreme in the end. From beginning to end, he's there, towering far above everything and everyone. So spacious is he, so expansive, that everything of God finds its proper place in him without crowding. Not only that, but all the broken and dislocated pieces of the universe, peoples and things, animals and atoms, get properly fixed and fit together in vibrant harmonies, all because of his death, his blood that poured down from the cross. Today, hope for my city and your city. For it pleased the Father that in him all the fullness should dwell, and by him to reconcile all things to himself, by him, whether things on earth or things in heaven, having made peace through the blood of his cross. Now that's the same scripture, but it's the New King James Version. For the most part, we, as people, have unconsciously separated our spiritual and everyday lives. Dualism, in essence, considers everything spiritual to be inherently good and everything physical as inherently bad. However, we are integrated whole. John chapter 17 says in verses 15 through 18, I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, I have also sent them into the world. Got that red letter edition? That was Jesus speaking. Instead of isolating our lives or our faith from our communities, we've been called to bring hope into our communities. Christ is the hope for the hopeless, but he wants to use us to extend that hope to the people in our world. So 2 questions. Do you believe there's hope for your city? And the second question, what is your role in bringing hope to the people in your world? Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we humbly come before you, grateful for the wisdom and truth found in your word. As we reflect on the scripture we just read in Colossians, we're reminded of the profound message it carries. For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in Christ, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. Lord, we acknowledge you as the embodiment of God's fullness. Praise you for your sacrifice on the cross. through which you accomplished the great work of reconciliation. By your blood, you have made peace between humanity and the Father, and you've opened the way for all things to be restored to their proper order. We thank you for the gift of reconciliation. You have not only reconciled us to the Father, but also the entire creation. Help us to live in the reality of this reconciliation, treating all people and all things with love, grace, and respect. Guide us to be agents of peace, working towards unity and harmony in our relationships and in the world around us. May the truth of the scripture we read today shape our perspective and actions. Let it be a constant reminder of your incredible love and your desire to restore all things to their intended purpose. We pray, Father, that you would strengthen our faith, deepen our understanding of the significance of your redemptive work. As we journey through this life, help us to live as ambassadors of reconciliation, shining your light in every sphere of influence. Grant us the courage and compassion to share the good news of your love, inviting others to experience the transformative power of your grace. We lift up our prayers, our hopes, and our gratitude to you, knowing that you hear and answer. May your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's in Jesus' name that we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Okay, happy Monday. Here's how it's going to go. I'm going to give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Then we'll look at the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts. Michael will join us 45 minutes into the broadcast. He'll give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, that's 1 hour into this broadcast, we'll do some live trading on the TradingView platform. And if there's anything I haven't covered at that point, I'll come back on and we'll wrap things up with a good word for the day. So let's get started. Here in the U.S., the Dow is up 62 points. The NASDAQ is up 99. The S&P 500 is up 13. And the Russell 2000 is up 22 points, which is almost 1.25%. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 95 cents, trading 74.47 last. That's a drop of 1.25%. Gold down $5.40, trading 19.59 last. Silver off 13 cents, trading 25.05 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, Nikkei down 28 points, Shanghai down 28 points, and Hang Seng unchanged on the session. And in the European markets, at the close, FTSE down 28, the DAX down 36, CAC down 82, which is a little over 1%. So basically, we had a red day in Asia, a red day in the UK, and so far, it's a green Radio Monday here in the US of A. Now we've got some resistance just overhead. So let's bring up the charts and take a look. This is the S&P daily chart. Here's today's candle. Here's Friday's candle. So remember, the market's always trying to do something. It's either trying to break the most recent swing high or the most recent swing low. Obviously, it's trying to break Friday's high. Now, why did the market grind to a halt where it did on Friday? Because it hit that 24% fib extension. Fibs are not proprietary. It's based on 13th century math. Retracements tell you where to expect price to find support on the way down. And then using the fib extension tool, you use that same 13th century math to project where the market will potentially find resistance overhead. So we hit the 24, came off, but then we came roaring back today. The question is will we be able to take out Friday's high? If we can take out Friday's high and hold it on a pullback, then the next spot we would look for potential resistance is at the 38, then the 50, then the 62, and then the 100. Now, fibs are purely based on math. They do not take into account any kind of politics, any kind of geopolitical tension, pure math. As I said, fibs are not proprietary. Institutional traders use fibs. Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. So as we go through my charts every day, you'll see that the only place that I have the fibs on my chart is on the daily chart. Now, maybe you don't trade the S&P. I do. Maybe you don't trade the daily chart. I don't. But I go there to get information on what the institutional traders are doing and where they're likely to run into resistance. So this 24 had been sitting there for quite a few days, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles, and then on the 5th day, touched it, sold off. We ended up with a little bit of a red body on Friday's candle. But today, the market is going to try to break this high. If it can, that shows strength in the market. If it can't, that shows weakness. But we're printing a green candle at this point. Keep in mind, on Friday, we had a green candle all the way up until we started to head into the close, and a number of the markets price had gotten above the weekly trading zone, the highest weekly zone, but by close of business Friday, they were back below the highest weekly trading zone. And we talked about the potential for that to happen. We've published the zone since December 14th of 2009. I did make a typo last night, my apology. But value is on top of it, and we got it all straightened out. So, why do I start with the daily chart if I don't trade the daily chart? Because that's what the institutions are looking at. And they're the ones who move price. Their account size is in the hundreds of millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. When they place a trade, it's big enough to move price. Institutional traders, our trades don't move price, but if we look at what the institutions are doing, then that makes it pretty simple for us to get our goal for the day. Taking a big picture look at whatever market you trade is one of the best things you can do when you start your trading day. Whether it's a futures market or an individual stock or a crypto or a Forex pair, even an ETF. Just spend 2 minutes with the daily chart, see what the institutions are up to, and identify the major areas of resistance and support. We know Friday's high at 45.60.5. That's definitely resistance, and we're almost there at 45.53.5. Support would be the low of the session, and then the step line, and then blue and climbing, and then the low of July 11th. Actually, we'll hit the daily BBC before we get there. So if we were to, now look at all the times the pullback is held. We all know it holds more often than not. Whether we're pulling from below, pulling back from above, it held and it held and it held and held and it held and it held and it held and it held. Now we know eventually it won't hold. That's what keeps the markets fluid and tradable. So the next time we pull back, price always reverts to the mean, so we have no doubt that it is going to pull back to the BBC. Not today probably, but potentially sometime this week. And after having held the pullback so many times in a row, we're actually getting due for something like this, where price actually trades through the BBC. Okay, so in 2 minutes you can gather all that information, jot down the important numbers, because as you go to your smaller time frames, like the 30-minute roadmap and the smaller range chart that you execute your trades on, okay, now this was last week's highest weekly trading zone, 45.54. The vertical line separates today, Monday, which began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Here's Friday. So Friday we popped above the highest weekly zone, but by the close of business Friday, we were well below the highest weekly zone. Today we've run up against resistance at last week's zones. Now the alerts that go out on Sunday night are based on last week's zones, because the new zones aren't published until Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Published the zones since December 14th of 2009. We want our traders to be able to get the zones on their chart before Wall Street wakes up for the week. So tomorrow on the broadcast, you'll see this week's weekly trading zones, because any alert that went out last night was based on last week's zones, and any alert that went out this morning, there was only a couple, those are based on this week's weekly trading zones. Okay, so the market opened last night, we were below the BBC. See how the pullback holds, and it 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 holds, and then eventually it doesn't hold. Now remember, we're looking at a 30-minute chart now. That was the daily chart before. This is our 30-minute roadmap chart. This gives us an idea of which direction we should be thinking of trading in. Price is above the 30-minute BBC, we anticipate higher prices. Price is below the 30-minute BBC, we anticipate lower prices. It's pretty simple. Above, and BBC just stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses above it, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. When price crosses below it, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. And when price gets back above it, and we have this perfect stack here, we expect higher prices. And it took us right up to the target. This was the opening candle last night, so you could have got your goal for the day right here. You didn't get it there. Could have got it here. Best place to have gotten it would either have been here or here. So came just shy of the short target, and we traded through the long target. And so far, we found resistance right at the zone. So we have a high, we got a lower high, and now we have a lower high. Okay. On the Dow, here's where the market opened last night. It attempted lower, and it did drop enough to allow you to get your goal for the day. This candle opened at 647 and dropped to 606. With the S&P, you need 2 points to get your goal for the day. With the Dow, you need 20 points. The S&P pays 50 a point. The Dow pays $5 a point. So we pull back to the BBC. The pullback held. Blue and climbing turned to red and falling. So we got another drop. Still didn't take us quite to the target. And then price gets back above the BBC. And we've got that perfect stack again. Price, step line, blue and climbing. And over here, the BBC. Okay. Now, because we've sort of stalled out right at Friday's high, look at the horizontal line on my cursor. Today's high, Friday's high. 34,788. 34,786. So we have a 2-point lower high today so far than we had Friday. Now, the step line, that's the black line. We had this perfect stack on the way up. Okay, that's as bullish as it gets. But now that we've started to move sideways, consolidate, the step line is starting to cross blue and climbing. When the step line crosses blue and climbing, that's an indication the price will probably pull back to the BBC. Then the question becomes, will the pullback hold and give us another leg to the upside? Or will price trade through it and give us a leg to the downside? If price trades through the BBC on your 30-minute chart, keep an eye on this bullish cross right here. Because even if price were to come through or maybe spike the BBC, right here where the bullish cross took place, that's potential support. Now, if it gets below that area, say down here, then you've got a window of opportunity down to here. If price overcomes the step line and overcomes today's high and Friday's high, then you've got this window of opportunity up here. Keeping in mind, these are last week's zones, but members and trial members already have this week's zones. Okay. On the Russell, this is where we opened last night. We dropped a little bit. Then we pulled up to the BBC, got below it, got above it. There's that perfect stack. Price rallied right up to the target. The Russell pays 50 a point, so you really only need 2 points. So let's say 1953 to 1955. That would be your goal for the day. Time to put the mouse away and go pursue life. Pursue your passions. Pursue whatever it is that God created you for. Because He created each of us for a reason and a purpose. So the beauty of trading is not only does it offer the opportunity to earn an above average living, but it also gives you the opportunity to have a more valuable commodity than money. What could be more valuable than money? Time. See, money's a renewable resource. Time is not. So how we spend our time is actually more important than how we spend our money. But we should be good stewards and spend them both wisely. So Russell hit the long target. On the NQ, this is where the market opened. We dropped right to the target. Then price got above, pulled back, and we made a run right up to the target. On crude, we had a slightly lower gap open, ran right down to the target, right here. We caught this wild bounce at 5 a.m. Eastern. Came back down to the target again. Then we got above the BBC and we moved slightly higher. Now we're back below last week's weekly zone. And the way things are shaping up, we may very well be headed back to the short target. Gold, here's where the market opened. Dropped almost to the target, pull back to the BBC, the pullback held, hit the target, pull back to the BBC, hit the target. Then we got above the BBC and attempted the long target, didn't quite make it. Got below the BBC, hit the short target, found support at last week's weekly trading zone. Now we're back above the BBC, and if red and falling turns to blue and climbing, then we'll most likely go back to challenge this little double top that we have today. And then that would probably send us, if we get through that, let us send this on up to the long target. The euro opened below the BBC with red and falling, dropped to the target, got above the BBC with blue and climbing, and ran to the long target. And then price got back below the BBC and hit the short target again. Now we've pulled back to the BBC, and we've got blue and climbing below us. So if this candle starts to drop, look for potential support here. And if it starts to rally, look for potential resistance right here. After that, here, and then you're back to the long target. So, now, where'd those numbers come from? Let me show you. We have two types of alerts, the Logic 247 alerts, and the Concierge Trade alerts. I just showed you the Concierge Trade alerts. So we'll talk about those first today. Something a little different. Last night, the markets opened at 6 p.m. Eastern, as they do every Sunday night. And today's the Monday session. It will be the Monday session until 5 p.m. this afternoon. Then the markets will go quiet for 1 hour. And when the markets reopen tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, that will be the beginning of the Tuesday session. I try to get the zones out, or I'm sorry, the CTAs out as soon as I can after the Globex open. So Globex opened at 6 p.m. I managed to get them out at 6:10 p.m. So what do you do with this report? This is a static report, okay? Once this is published, it's good for the entire session. Whatever markets you trade, go to your 30-minute chart and make note of where price is at this time. It's always going to be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target, a line in the sand at the short target. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. If you draw those lines in the sand, they'll serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. You have to look left to spot any potential obstacles, whether there's previous swing highs or swing lows. that can become current resistance or support. And you learn over time how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night until they close Friday afternoon, if price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. If price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. It really is that simple. If, this is a big if you can resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. We cover all the same markets with the CTAs as we do with the logic alerts. The CTAs are based on historic price action. The logic 247 alerts are based on current price action. However, there's time built into each alert so that you can get the alert, study the 30-minute chart so that you see the window of opportunity that it represents. Then you're prepared with your range chart to take action when price reaches the entry point. The more times you repeat that process, pretty soon you'll see how simple it really can be, because you'll start to spot those windows of opportunity before I even have a chance to post an alert. And while I can't look at every market all the time, you'll start spotting your own windows of opportunity. Our goal for you is that you become self-sufficient. We want you to remain a part of our vibrant community. As a lifetime member, you have lifetime access to everything, from the live training room to the unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. Our strategy, once you learn it, nobody can ever take it away from you. When you become a passport holder, you own the indicator set for life. And you have lifetime access to the weekly trading zones, the Logic 247 alerts, and the concierge trade alerts. Now, because this broadcast is open to the public, and all of our members and trial members had these numbers 10 minutes after the market opened last night. But if you're not a member or trial member and you want to grab a screenshot, go ahead. Okay. All right. Now, the logic alerts are based on current price action, and they come out around the clock whenever opportunity presents itself. It's not an either-or proposition, because the logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts really work hand in hand. Since the market opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we've issued a total of 11 alerts. Still waiting on 5. It's 6 actionable alerts, of which 1 or 17% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, based on a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one unlimited mentoring sessions. We're in week 259, and this morning I published alert number 14,700. That's 14,700 individual handcrafted alerts. Each one with time built in so that you can study the alert, study the 30-minute chart, see the window of opportunity with your own eyes, and then be prepared to take action. That's where we want you to be. We want you to be able to look at the 30-minute chart, see the window of opportunity, and reach the point where you know where you don't need anybody to tell you when to get in or when to get out. So it is now quarter till. Michael should be joining us momentarily. While we're waiting on Michael, we'll walk through. Remember I mentioned lines in the sand? Okay. In fact, I'll show you again. $45.49, $45.27. Price is above the 30-minute BBC. It's trying to get to the long target. If it's below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the short target. Short target. Long target. And as you can see, the weekly trading zones have what I call carryover power, because even though these are last week's zones, the market still found resistance there. High, lower high, and so far a lower high. And the step line is starting to cross, just like we saw on the Dow, which means we may see a pullback to the BBC and another leg to the upside. Or if the pullback fails to hold, as it did over here, see how it traded through it and then pulled back up from below, and it held there and gave us this leg to the downside. You've got a bullish cross right here. So if price spikes the BBC, it may find support right here and then continue higher. You can make your lines in the sand look any way you want, but I try to get the numbers to you as soon as I can after the Globex Open each evening. And again, once they're published, just like the weekly zones, once the weekly zones are published, they're good for the entire week. And when the CTA numbers are published, they're good for the entire session. Again, you can make your lines look any way you want, but putting them on your chart serves as a great visual cue. When this candle starts climbing, okay, and taking out these highs, well, you know where price is trying to go. Here, we didn't get much of a move to the downside, but we did nail the long target. NQ, hit the short target, leg, retracement, leg, retracement, leg. That's how price moves in legs. So compared to Friday, we got a high. Now, see, this was the highest weekly trading zone last Friday. But we said by close of business on Friday, in fact, actually Thursday, we got above the highest weekly zone. But we said by close of business on Friday, we expect price to be back at the highest zone or below. Price typically closes below the highest zone or above the lowest zone. Are there random weeks where price actually closes above the zone? Yes. But Friday was, did you see this, Michael? It's a beautiful example. Price was way up here. This is last week's zone. And as we came into the close Friday,
bang,
bang. And then it's here on the ES. Same thing, we were above, but by close of business, we were below. That happened on a lot of the markets. So, well,
yep.
We're ready for you.
Okay. Here I am ready. Let me bring it over here. Do this and that. There we go. Ready to go.
Looks good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 17th day of July, 2023. Now, if you have not taken a free trial of this and you want to, go get mytradingiq.com. Right here it says sign up for your free 5-day training now, 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time. When you do that, you can be sent all the information you need to, when you do that, you can be sent all the information that you need to get into the room in the morning, all right? Once you sent that information, you're going to be into the room, but before you get into the room, you should come here and look at trading platforms, sign up for whatever trading platform you have, all right? If it takes you more than 5 minutes to set up the trading platform, you need to get in touch with us, okay? Because we will set it up for you. Make sure you have the platform set up in front of you while you're on the trial. You should take a look at the trade rules. These are the rules that we use to enter the trades. Every trade we use follow these. Every trade we enter follows these rules, right? If it doesn't follow these rules, I've made a mistake. And you can watch some of these videos, all right? If you watch these videos, then you'll see me actually putting those rules into action, okay? Every one of those videos, I am following those rules, right? You should do that before you sign up, when you sign up for the trial, just so you know what you're getting into. All right, so the markets today have been really, really slow. If you can read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 17th day of July 2023. We made 16 ticks in the NQ, 16 ticks in the Russell, and we lost 10 in gold. We made 9 on the ES, all right? So overall, that put us at 172.5 with one contract this morning. Today it took 41 minutes and 10 trades because I stopped out on 2 of them. 41 minutes and 10 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, I was at $1,120, right? So we only ended up taking 11 trades. So after that first 10 trades, it looks like I only took one more trade, and it was really that slow, really that slow. I think that trade was one tick on the ES. I got one tick, went from 8 to 9. On the month, that puts us at $2,475. That's over 10 trading days, averaging $247 per contract per 2-hour trading day. So we're halfway through the month right now at $2,475. So we're on track to have our lowest month this year. All right. You still have plenty of time to improve on that. We have 10 business days to improve on that. And, actually I had my best business day was when I was actually on vacation last week. I had not my best business day, but my best trading day was on Friday. We're up $720 a contract. So 7 contracts on that. It was a really good day for me. Nice way to end the vacation. But anyway, on the month, we're at $2,475. On the year, we've got our goal on 131 out of 134 days, and that puts us at $60,884, averaging $454 per contract per 2-hour business day. Now, right here is where you really want to be. You want to get your goal for the day and quit trading, all right? And add 1 contract a month. So like this morning with 7 contracts on. Granted, it took me 41 minutes because I stopped out on 2 trades, but other guys that didn't stop out on those trades had their goal way earlier than I did. And I was up $1,120 with 7 contracts on at that point. Okay, so if you did that this year and you quit trading when you got your goal for the day, you would have only had to work 39.58 hours so far this year, averaging $1,825 an hour. Right, pretty good money if you can get it. Now on gold, we just had the 1 trade, and it was a stop out. This one right here stopped me out. And if I'd had a better entry, I would have had my stop at break even on that, but it slipped me a little bit, so I didn't get a great entry on that. There were just no more trades in here. I could have done this trade in here, but I didn't. This put in a higher swing. I could have done that. That would have stopped me at that. This would have been a break even if I did that. And there was just nothing through here. All right, right here during the break, there was 1 more black trade right here, black arrow, but I would have waited for the pullbacks, but I wouldn't have done anything with that. I would have waited for a green arrow. I'd still be waiting for a green arrow there. And on the Russell, now I have the no trade zones showing on everything here. So you can see there were a lot of no trade zones. On the Russell, we had, go back to the very beginning, I believe. One of our first trades was on the Russell. I guess it was not. All right, so our first trade on the Russell, after we got out all of this chop right here, then we had a string of trades right here that I didn't do any of. I was waiting for a deeper pullback, so I didn't do any of those on the Russell. Right, when it flattened out and if they started giving us some green arrows in here, I missed the first one, but I did take the second one. And on that second one, I ended up getting 2 ticks in profit. Okay, 2 ticks on that one. Then it changed directions right here, came all the way back up, hit the ribbon. Now this one didn't give an arrow because we didn't get into the overbought. But I took the short right there for 14 ticks. That put us at plus 17, right? Now I was into the training when this green arrow happened here, and this green arrow happened here, and this green arrow happened here, and this green arrow here, and that green arrow there. And then it just went sideways. When I was done with the training, there was just nothing to do. Now, as soon as we closed up the morning session, the European markets closed. There were a couple of trades right through here that you could have taken, all nice and profitable trades, and then it flattened out again. Okay, so that's what it was like this morning with the Russell. Now the ES, we had just a couple of trades. We had this one right here for 8 ticks and this one right here for 1. You can see the no trade zones in here. There's a whole bunch of no trade zones in there. So we just were not having a ton of opportunity today with the markets. You know, at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing a live stream on TradingView, and I don't know what we're going to get in there either. Are any of the markets moving at all? Is there anything? Bonds, you know, crude oil, or any indexes moving? I mean, any not just indexes, but any individual stocks or anything? I don't know. If anybody knows of anything that's moving, just type it in, and I'll take a look at it in the next session. Okay. Okay, Bart, I was looking for you this morning. You didn't show up. I will do that with you today. All right, so that's it on the NQ today. Let's get into what we did on the NQ. All right. Again, most of the trades were on the NQ, though we didn't have a ton of them, but most of them were there. We started out right here. Our first trade on the NQ was right here. We picked up 3 ticks on that. Then we were waiting for a higher swing. We wanted to get up above this level right here. That's why I didn't take any more of these right here. I finally took this one and it stopped me out. So at that point we were at minus 17. Okay, then I didn't take anything all through there. I finally took one right here and I got 30 ticks on that. So we're at plus 13 at that point. I got one more tick there to put us at plus 14. Then I got nothing there. And then I was at plus 14. And at this point, I was really close to getting my goal for the day, but I was having trouble actually getting more than 2 ticks at a time. Right. So we went from 13 to 14 right there. And then went from 14. See, there was a whole bunch of no trade zones in here. Then we waited and waited and waited. And here toward the very end of the room, somewhere in here, we did one more trade that got us from 14 to 16. All right. I don't know where it was. There was one more trade in here that went from 14 to 16 ticks. And that's where we ended with the NQ, was 16. And that was all we did in the morning session, guys. It was just that slow. During the break, there was a trade right here. It would have been a break even. Another trade here would have been another break even. This one right here would have been a stop out. This one right here would have gotten it right back. That one would have too. That one would have too. So if you just did from here to here with trades, from 12 o'clock to 12:30 with trades, you would have been up really well, right? You would have been down here minus 20, then plus 10, then plus 40, then plus 70. Just between those trades and this trade in here would have gotten you break even. Okay. And plus 70 on the NQ. Plus 70 on the NQ is $350, right, per contract. So for me, with 7 contracts on, that would have been a good chunk of money. All right, it is 12:59. Now the next session that starts out. So let me just finish off this by saying, if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to mytradingiq.com, sign up for the free trial right here. Click on that. It's 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time, 5 business days in a row. Okay. This is where we stand on the month. 24.75 on the month, and on the year 60,884. That is with 1 contract. Okay, that's where you want to be. All right, so it is time to start the live stream. It is now 1 o'clock. So let me hit refresh on this, and Bart, how is 2 o'clock for you? shut that off. Do this. Okay. I'm not going to have as much time as we had the last time, but I'll send you a link. Okay. All right. Hit start stream and make it fit the screen. There we go. All right. So good afternoon, everyone in the live stream. We are now back from our normal location, and it's been really slow this morning. Okay, the markets have been really flat for a while. When the European markets closed at 11:30 Eastern time, there started to be a little spark of life in the markets, but look at the Russell over here. See this dark area right here is a no trade zone. You can see the ES is in a no trade zone, Russell's in a no trade zone. Gold had one back here, and the NQ had one back here. Now the NQ just put in a higher swing, which is good and what we want. The gold didn't really put in a higher swing. So far on the day, it's been, well, we didn't have a ton of trades today. We only had 11 trades this morning, and 10 of them were to get the gold for the day. Okay. So it's been really, really slow. So I don't know what it's going to be like in here today, but we'll take the trades that the Forex give us, not the Forex, that the futures give us. But if anybody wants to see anything else, speaking of Forex, if anybody wants to see anything else like the Forex, then just let me know. Okay. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see crypto, if you want to see Forex, if you want to see ETFs, stocks, just go type in a symbol. The closest thing we have to a trade right now is right here on the NQ. Right, we have a higher swing in place. It needs to pull back and hit the ribbon. So if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingview.com, click on this. That's how you take the free trial. When you do that, hit trading platforms and follow the instructions to download the trading platform. You should have a trading platform running in front of you while you're taking the trial. All right. If it takes you more than 5 minutes to set that up, get in touch with us. You can email support@cfrn.net or support@mytradingview.com. Either one will get in touch with us. Okay. So what I'm showing you right here are the rules for the trade setups. Right. Every trade that I take, the entry follows these rules. Every single trade that I take. Okay. So what I'm looking for right now over here on gold, if you look at this right here, all trades must come after a higher or lower swing. All trades must be a long-term trend direction. So the long-term trend are these outer bands, this one, this one. The higher swing would be this right here, but that's barely a higher swing. The higher swing over here would be this, meaning this was a higher swing, came back, gave a trade. This is the higher swing now, needs to come back and give a trade. Okay. That's all we need to see from the market. Sorry, you need to follow those rules, but all we need to see from the market is it. All right. All right, on the gold, we need that to come down and hit the ribbon. It's just barely got a higher swing here, so I'm not really in love with that, but we need that to come down, hit the ribbon, and then maybe bounce on the NQ. We need that come down, hit the ribbon, and then bounce. It'd be great if it went into the oversold right here. All right, if this black line right here went into oversold, drop down to there, that would be great. But what I'm looking at is this higher high. Okay, if I were to draw a trend line, it would look something like this. Okay, and if I were to draw one across the bottoms, it would look something like this. Okay. So what I'd really like to see is for it to pull back down, test the ribbon, get this down here into the oversold, and then bounce up. That's what I'd really like to see. But you see how it's consolidating right here at this level? That makes me that makes me want to go look at the higher time frames. Okay, and the higher time frames are over here. And this is the NQ higher time frame. So it makes me want to see where we are with regard to that. Right? It does have some room to move to get up to the weekly trading zone up above it. There was a lot of movement this morning. It went up, it tried to hit that level. It failed. You see there's selling pressure at that weekly trading zone right here. Tried to hit that level and it failed. So right now it's trying to get back up to that level is what it looks like. That level is up here at 8:15. Okay. So if we got an opportunity to trade that, that'd be great. I don't know if we're going to, but we'll see. Again, anybody that's listening right now in the live stream, if you want to see anything other than futures, all you have to do is give me a symbol. Just give me a symbol. Things are just really, really slow. Maybe I'll go pick a symbol on my own. Russell's not doing the same thing. Let's get Tesla. Now Tesla has got the whole no trade zone going here. And the reason it's got the no trade zone going, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, you can't do it on a 7 range. Two, there. Once you change the range around, you can see. So we had opportunity, this is today on Tesla. Okay, so we had some great opportunities here on Tesla. Shorting opportunity right here, 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 all through here. Here, this one wouldn't have worked out. There, this one wouldn't have worked out. And right now it's gone flat. So you're looking for the same things, really. You're looking for the long-term trend to give you something like this, and for prices to pull back. Get this line into the oversold or into the overbought, depending on what direction you're going, and then to pull off of it. All right, you get a green arrow if it actually hits the ribbon. You get a black arrow if it doesn't hit the ribbon. Okay. So these bars, every one of these bars is 50 cents. Okay. So if you had, let's say you had 200 shares of Tesla, 200 shares. So every one of these bars is $100. Okay. That's if you have 200 shares. We can look at anything. Right now, we can look at Apple. See what that looks like. And it's about the same on 50 range. And the same thing, every one of these bars is 50 cents. Okay. Apple doesn't have as much volatility as Tesla, so that's, you might want to go down to a smaller time frame for that. They have more trade setups with a smaller time frame because of the different volatility. You also probably want to change the no trade zone a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Anybody want to look at anything else? With this company, I used to work for this company. All right, so a 25 range on that one works out. When it's flat like this, you don't want to trade. But today, yeah, a little bit of volatility today. You know, it's only 60 something bucks, so 25 range might be too big. You might want to bump that down to like, I don't know, 10 range. That means every bar in here is a dime. Now, if you get this much no trading zone, then when you get something like this, you have to go in and adjust the sensitivity. All right, that's going to be in here. And what that does is it looks at the long-term trend and it says, okay, well, the long-term trend is you really only want to have that no trade zone when long-term trend flattens out. All right, so right here at a dime, you know, if you own like 1,000 shares, we'll say of State Street, every bar is $100 at a dime. Okay. And so you're looking for the same thing. Again, you're looking for the same exact thing. All right. It's funny. I used to work with this one guy when I worked at State Street. Used to look for things like this. He had these one companies that used to bounce, you know, from certain places every day, about a quarter, and you buy 1,000 shares of it, and it would bounce a quarter every day. Like it's $250 a day on that. Oops, he lived in his mom's basement. He's like 40 years old, but it is what it is. Luigi, what do you want to see? I see you just popped in. Do you want to see anything in here? we're looking at futures, and I just threw up an equity. If anybody wants to look at anything else, you just have to type in what you want to look at. Okay. I will look at any symbol, ETF, Forex, crypto, whatever. This is normally the Russell right here. Okay. And now the context is going to be off. Forex, okay. Give me some symbol to look at on Forex. Okay, I'm happy to look at anything that you want to look at. Just gotta give me a symbol. Anybody that's watching right now in the live stream, we're watching what you type in. So if you type anything in, and I will be happy to go take a look at it. Okay, that was unfortunate, but it's back. XAU USD CHF. Okay, let's do that. Let's do XAU. Well, first XAU. It's two different things, right? Did you want to look at the Philly Gold and Silver Index? Is that what you're talking about? Or is this what you're talking about down here? The crypto. Right. I'll just type in what you want with that, but we'll look at USD CH. That is going to be here, like that, USD CHF. Okay, we'll look at this one right here. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. It's trading it really small right there, at a decimal point. So you have to set the new trade zone up to accept that. And this is on a 7-tick range, so it's a 7 pip range for you. And that probably won't work either because your spread is probably bigger than 7 pips. But this number is going to be like way smaller. And even that wasn't small enough. There we go. Okay. So let's take off one of those zeros and see for closer. Yeah, that's a little closer. All right, but that's for this time frame. I don't know what would be the right time frame for Forex, but let's just go with 20. Now each bar is 20 pips here, okay? So this is USD CHF, 20 pips. Okay, what it's suggesting here, the black arrows and the green arrows are suggesting the direction you should trade. And this is what it's been like today so far. A nice green arrow right there, another green arrow right there. Green arrow here that wouldn't have worked out. Your stop would have been just a little bit beyond the bar length in this case. All right, green arrow there that would have worked out. This one's still figuring itself out. Okay, the black arrow would have been okay there. But this is what that looks like. Okay, and this is on a 20 range, so it's a 20 pip, every one of these bars. Right, so if you wanted to look at it on a larger time frame, something like, every one of these would be 50. You have to change that, and it may change the no trade zone information too. You see how right here, the no trade zone, these areas right here should happen when the long-term direction is flat. Okay, so we'd have to adjust that a little bit to take that more into account. But on every one of these bars is 50 pips. Okay, so I don't know what kind of a spread you're looking at in that with the Forex. But there's information. The same stuff works no matter what you're trading. Yeah, you want to look at XAU. XAU. The gold right here, USD, right? So 1955, you're not going to look at that on a So that's every bar is $1 there. But here now every bar is $5. Okay. And you'd have to adjust the sensitivity to it some. To find the no trade zones, like there should be one right here. There should have been something in here. It's not going to show any no trade zone right now because the sensitivity is so tiny. But this should probably be more like that. Okay. And then you have your no trade zones. And you have your arrows. Right. So this was today. Giving you all these opportunities. Okay. Let me minimize this and see if we have any trades going on here. We don't. The gold didn't really give anything. ES is in no trade zone. The NQ went out of a no trade zone and back into a no trade zone, so it's really got nothing. It needs to put in a higher swing. While I started talking, that was after the start. What time is it right now? 1:16. So we have 14 minutes left in this stream. I'm happy to go over more things. If you want to look at more things, you just got to give me more symbols. Okay. If you're just looking for something to give you more trade setups, you know, you can just change the time frame in this. You know, and the arrows, they're based upon what the long-term direction has to be right. The black line in the ribbon has to be right, and the black line in the slingshot has to be right. Okay, the long-term direction needs outer bands. You're not going to get arrows if the outer bands are flat. That's why you don't have a whole bunch of arrows all through here. The outer bands are flat, but once you start getting some trend with the outer bands, then you start getting the arrows. When it starts pulling out of the oversold, if you're in an uptrend, it starts pulling out of the oversold, you're going to start getting your arrows. Okay, that's how that works. Now, you set the sensitivity. The sensitivity determines whether you're going to get arrows or not. Right? Like in this case right here with the context, if I go in here and I set sensitivity to be, let's come back to that. Okay, then that gets rid of all the no trade zones. But if I go the other way with it, and I set it to be super sensitive or super conservative, then all the arrows go away, you see. You don't get any trades. So what I recommend for this is get in there and play around with it, the numbers, until you're getting the no trade zones where the long-term direction is flat. Right here, the long-term direction is flat, direction is flat. That's where you want to have your no trade zones. You know, where it's changing directions. That's what that's all about. Okay. All right. So back here, looking for more trades. We just don't have any. I know I'm going over these other indices and in the forex pairs more than I normally do, but that's because we just don't have trade setups. I had a feeling it was going to be this way in this half hour. If you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, then all you need to do, let me see if I can fix this. Yeah. If you want to take a free trial with us and you haven't, go here to mytradingiq.com right here, sign up for the trial. All right. Once you do that, take a look at the trade rules. Every trade that I enter follows these rules. Every trade that I enter. Okay. Download the trading platform. What you're looking at right here is TradingView. Watch this video right here. Give us your TradingView username. When you sign up for the trial, when you actually click that button, whichever button, the one on the home page, when you click that button, you have the opportunity to give us a username. Like Luigi, I see your username is right there. All you need to do is give us that. We can enable the indicators for you on your desktop. You should watch these videos. Now, these videos are only going to be about futures, right? There are no videos in here about equities or videos in here about Forex or anything like that. But all the same stuff applies. You just have to find the right setting. Okay. Yes, and follow us on TradingView. If you don't follow us yet, you can follow us on TradingView by just hitting the follow button and the like button. Okay. All right. It is now 13:20. So we have about 10 minutes left in here, and we don't have any trades yet. The Russell could give us something here. The NQ was starting to, but it gave something right here. I don't know if that went 8 ticks or not from the entry point. If it did, it would have been break even. If not, it would have stopped out and then given you another green arrow here, which I wouldn't have taken. Okay. And we didn't get anything on the ES, nothing on the Russell, and nothing on gold yet. So we're just waiting. Well, the Russell might have given something if I change it to the Forex pair there. Okay. Joe, I don't know if you're watching in the live stream or if you're watching in. You're not watching on either one. Well, anybody that's watching right now, if you have any questions, you can email us at support@cfrn.net or support@mytradingIQ.com. If you're watching in TradingView and you like what you see, you should take the free trial. All right, it really is free. We're in a no trade zone now on the NQ, no trade zone there, no trade zone there. All the indices are in no trade zones, and the goal is going to get in no trade zone. So we have about 8 minutes left. Don't know how much more opportunity we're going to have. Do you want to look at another stock? Anybody? There's a whole bunch of stocks in here. Anybody want to look at any of these? Look at the QQQ. That's an ETF. Here's on the 500 range. Big. Look at Disney. Now, Disney's a stock you're not going to look at on a 500 range. Probably want to bump that down to a 50, maybe. Okay, so Disney's giving a couple of nice opportunities there, you can see. NVIDIA. A couple of nice opportunities there. Anything you want to see, we can apply this stuff to. Okay, Microsoft. Nice opportunity right there. Bitcoin. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to a much higher time frame for Bitcoin. All right. But I'll do it just because, well, we don't have trades anywhere else. I'll jump to Bitcoin. And on this, we are gonna have to go to like 1,000 range, maybe. There we go. 1,000 range. Okay, so every bar ends. And here's Bitcoin. Does anybody want to see anything else? You want to see me take a trade? Probably, right? I do too. We need a trade setup to do that. Okay, wait for these obvious trades. You don't want to force anything. When markets get really slow like this, if you feel yourself starting to want to take a trade, whether there's a valid trade setup or not, just walk away. Shut it off and walk away. Okay, I know it's hard to do, but that's the thing that's going to keep you in the markets. Discipline. Yeah, I'm going to change this back. Well, what do we look at so far in there? We'll look at something else. In Bitcoin. This, I think that's City, right? Well, 500 range is not going to, 1,000 range is not going to do on this. What's it priced at? 90 bucks. Yeah. Go down to a 25 range on that one. And even that's got a whole bunch of new trades on. Google, it's 124 bucks. Yeah, we need to adjust it too. That's way too much no trade zone for a downtrend like that. What is it set at right now? 0.05. 50 range. There, that's better. So Google had some nice trades in there today too. All right, we have 5 more minutes, guys. I'm looking for something to trade, some reason to trade something. The NQ is pretty close to giving us something right here. It's not quite there. See, in here, the black had to be in the red to be able to take this without having an arrow. You're not having an arrow because this was not overbought. So this is oversold. It needs to get up into the overbought. With the long-term direction being bearish like it is, we need to get into the overbought and get a down close out of that. Okay, get into the overbought, get a down close out of that. So we have the lower swing right there. We're getting up, just about up there into the overbought right now. All right, I want to see it go up and hit the ribbon. That'd be great if it gets up there and hits the ribbon for us. It's almost there. So just another tick. See, the difference is going to be the black arrow or the green arrow. I want it one more tick. I want to see that go up. Just get up into the overbought there just a little bit more. If anybody's got any questions, type them into the live stream. It's 1:26. We don't have a lot of time left. We're running out of time in here. Yeah, the markets are getting really thin right now. By that, I mean the totals down at the bottom are smaller. You see, it's got a little bit of a spread right there. It's like it's waiting for something big to happen right now. It's going to be 88 down to 84 is what you're looking at on the NQ right now. Okay, I don't think we have any more news coming out today. No. Nothing else coming out today. And there's the down close at 84, and this is just a ribbon trade here. Now it's, I had my order waiting there, and it bumped my stop to break even plus a tick, and it just came up and took me out. I have this automated thing here that says put a stop on of 20 ticks, and after 8 ticks in profit, bump it 21 ticks, and that's what just happened there. Okay, so I ended up out of that with 1 tick. I went short. This is a ribbon trade right here. And if you look over here, the trade rules, this is a short trade without the slingshot. That makes it a ribbon trade. Okay. The black and the ribbon must be on top and in the red. Price must touch the ribbon on the pullback. So the black and the ribbon is on top and in the red. We came from a lower swing. The long-term direction is bearish. All right. I did not put in a lower swing. So I can't take this bounce off the ribbon right here, because I already tried this one. I have to wait until it puts in a lower swing now. Okay. All right, so I see people are popping on and off in the live stream. I don't know. So far we've only had one person ask any questions in there, and nobody's asking any questions in the regular stream either. So we'll just we'll wait a few minutes here. I guess we only have about a minute left anyway. And somebody just disconnected me. 163 is. I'm 172. So 163, I think that's Val. Anyway. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingedge.com. Right here, sign up for your free trial. Okay, click on that button. If you want to see more of this, get into the room. It's in the morning. It's a lot more active in the morning. There's a lot more going on in the morning than there is right now. Today was really slow, but in the first half an hour, we had quite a bit of activity. After that, it slowed down quite a bit, but then we had plenty of time to train. All right. Go to mytradingedge.com, click on this. If you're going to take the trading platform, you should download a trade. If you're going to take the free trial, you should download the trading platform. Look at the trade rules, watch these videos so you know what you get into when you get in the room in the morning. Okay. benefit you the most. If you're really serious about this and you really want to make money, if you've been doing this for years and you haven't had any success, or if you're brand new, take the trial. It really is free. Right? That is it, guys. With that, I'm going to wrap up the live stream for today. Sorry we didn't get a whole bunch of activity, but I didn't expect we would today. Tomorrow, hopefully, be a different day. All right. And the live stream is ended, and I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, it looks like you're getting ready.
Yes, sir.
Almost ready. There it is. Okay.
Recap of the morning session.
Today, it took 41 minutes and 10 trades to get to $1,120.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll take one last look at the charts from my end. The daily, we're pressing right up against that 24% fib retracement. We managed to spike it just a little bit on Friday. So Friday's high, 45.60 half. That's your major resistance based on the daily chart. And while things are quiet, buyers don't seem to have hit the pause button just yet. Step line is on the left side of blue and climbing, so if price starts to come down below the session, major support, step line, blue and climbing, and the daily BBC. On the ES, we're still stuck below last week's highest weekly trading zone. Now, again, on Friday, we traded above the highest weekly zone, but by close of business on Friday, well below the highest zone. Tomorrow, my charts on the broadcast will have this week's zones. The reason on Monday that I'm still displaying the previous week's zones is because all alerts that go out on Sunday night are based on the previous week's zones. New zones come out for our members and trial members at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. So if you sign up for the trial, then you'll have access to this week's zones. Dow, just consolidating sideways here. Now remember that step line has now crossed over and we've got a red candle. So the highest probability thing for the market to do now is to attempt to pull back to the BBC, bull bear cross. The price crosses below, bearish. Price crosses above the green line, bullish. Okay? This is the perfect stack. You got price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. Russell, we're almost up to last week's highest weekly trading zone. You should expect that to be resistance because the zones have carryover power. NQ. Friday, we got way above the highest weekly zone. If I close the business on Friday, back below it. Crude oil, we hit the short target once, and it looks like we're about to hit it again. Gold, hit the short target multiple times. Now that we have blue and climbing, prices below the BBC, that represents resistance. Blue and climbing represents support, so price is kind of trapped. You got to wait for price to either break out to the upside and take out this high, or for price to really take out this low. This gives you area down here. Silver, sideways. Although last week we had some big days. We had a $1 move, we had a 50-cent move, And when the price of silver moves $1, that's worth $5,000 per contract traded. Euro, short target, long target, short target. And with price above the BBC and blue and climbing, that suggests that price may attempt the long target again. Let it get above these swing highs right here. Okay. All right. Our good word for today. For the last couple days, we've been talking about being Christ's ambassadors. Philippians 3:20 says our citizenship is in heaven. So let's recap what we've talked about the last couple days. As an ambassador, you must have the following qualifications and characteristics. Number 1, be a citizen of the country you represent. As believers, our citizenship is in heaven. Your character and conduct must reflect the highest values of your country, that our God may make you worthy of his calling. 2 Thessalonians 1:11. Number 3, you must be equipped for the job. 1 Corinthians 12:4 tells us there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit. Number 4, you must be loyal to your country. Now, let's look at 2 more qualifications. Number 5, an ambassador must be an effective communicator. Best ambassadors are bilingual. They speak and understand the language of those around them. Can you do that? In order to have the right answer, you must understand question, questioner, and where they're coming from. The Bible says, if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it, but do this in a gentle and respectful way. 1 Peter 3:15. Note the words, always be ready. And number 6, an ambassador must be a good diplomat. Ambassadors are most effective when they're winsome as they go about their work. You wouldn't want someone representing your country who is arrogant and abrasive in dealing with others. Jesus said, by this, all will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. John 13:35. Our message is the gospel, and our strategy is love. What's our message? We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. 2 Corinthians 5:20. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.